Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Rooted. I am your host, Natalie Andrea, and I am here today with my very first guest here in this space. And I am so excited for this conversation. And the fact that I have Shannon here with me as my first guest speaks volumes to her beautiful vision and mission, and just the beautiful human and soul that she is. So, welcome, Shannon Bosse, to Rooted.
Hi, Natalie. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you.
I'm so excited for this conversation. And so, Shannon is the creator of Made of Stars Studios. She is a certified girl life coach, and I'm going to allow you to explain what it is that you do and all of your magic. But my understanding is that you work primarily with children as well as mothers and really focusing in and around the themes of empowerment.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So my name is Shannon, like Natalie shared. I am a mom of four amazing souls and the creator, founder of Made of Star Studios. So basically, what I do is I create workshops, programs, events that really help children, and I've just like introduced mothers into Made of Star Studios, but it's really helping them tap into their light so that they can shine like the stars that they are.
It's so beautiful. And I've joked with you before saying, where were you when I was 8? Because I feel like having somebody like you in my life to understand some of the themes that I've only just started to uncover and discover within myself, such as my intuition and my own power and listening to myself and my voice. It took me until I was in my 30s to do.
Yeah, same for me. But it was so needed. Once I learned all this, like it was in my journey into personal growth, basically, that I created everything that I create now, and I really noticed the need, especially for girls, to know how to trust their intuition and how to use their voice. Um, it's useful for all kids, really, but me being a girl, I had my daughters, I saw the need within them. So it really led me to creating all that I do now and this path that I'm on.
I had one of my girlfriend's daughters over today. She's 9 and she's been experiencing some nausea and tummy troubles, like typical psychosomatic symptoms that children can express, when really it's more of the worry, nervousness, something that's going on within their lives that's creating like a very somatic experience within their body. And I was telling them about you. And I
Aw,
was
thank
saying,
you.
we need to sign my daughter and her daughter up for one of your workshops. And I was trying to explain, what it is that you cover in your workshops and themes like intuition and just our body's energy systems. And she was like, "What's intuition?" And I was like, "Exactly."
Exactly. I
Yeah.
know I do have a workshop in my GirlStory program, which I'm sure we'll dive into. But in my GirlStory program, I have one that is all about finding your own voice, learning about your intuition. And the girls that come through this program always have that question, what is your intuition? So it's really tapping into that inner knowing and helping them trust it. Because I'm sure that you went through this in your life where you had nudges and you had feelings, but you did not trust them. And my goal, my mission is that children learn that that is their superpower and to really pay attention to that.
Yeah, and I think that's so powerful as an opposing voice to so many of the other external voices or sometimes the indirect messages that can come in that actually deter children from listening to their voice, to their intuition in so many ways.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And even for me, I am what I would consider to be a more conscious mother, where I am aware of many things that I wasn't aware of as a child. And, our parents are all doing the best with where they're at. And we obviously evolve into different levels of consciousness as we grow. But I mean, those resources were not there when I was a child, I'm sure, when you were a child, same thing,
Yeah,
or for my mom. And yes, I can teach my own children all of these concepts. Like they've been hearing about energy since they were like 2, 3, 4. I have sound bowls in my living room. You know what I mean? Like we
I
talk
love
about
that.
intuition.
Yeah,
However, I'm also their mom, right? And
yeah,
so there's a certain level I've found of my daughter, and I was talking to my friend about this too. Her daughter was saying, "Oh, my mom's always talking about the universe and like she's like I want to believe in like, some sort of higher intelligence, but because my mom's always talking about it, it makes me not want to." So there's this push or like drive to individuate or rebel to some extent, I feel like, for our children. And so I love that you have this beautiful resource for these young children to not only like echo what it is that I'm instilling with them, but also for those women who may be on their own healing journey or starting their own healing journey. This is something that they can involve their kids in if they don't have the resources to be teaching them, or do it together. Because you do
yeah.
these moon mom and me circles, new moon, full moon. Yeah.
New moon circles for now. Mom and me. Yep.
Okay.
The moms come in with their littles. They get to experience the magic and the healing power of being in community, of being in circle. It is literally so beautiful. And um, the people they leave, the kids, they leave as friends. And it's just like that precious moment where you're just like not doing and just like being together in circle. Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm offering for moms and their kids right now.
I have goosebumps because as you were speaking of this, it feels like not only something that has been lost as an art form or as just like that ceremonial space. I feel like that is something that is so based in like the lost arts and traditions and culture.
Yeah,
And at the same time, it feels so reflective of like the new, like new generations, new earth, and like this beautiful vision of connection.
it's really about coming back to our roots, I guess, because we've been so kind of been like separated. I guess the way that we live now is so separate when we're meant to be living in village together in connection. So like I'm sure for the women who have been part of women's circles especially, you have probably found the healing that comes with that and just the level of comfort that is in that. So it was really important for me to introduce it to little ones so that they can start honoring that, um, those sacred times in circle together. It just makes, yeah, it just makes it so much more like connective and makes you feel like you're not alone
Yeah, in
in our
community,
journey.
which
Yeah.
is huge because, like you said, just being in these, it's almost like this the fragmentation of our culture and going about our lives in these very separate ways. And we are connected through technology to a larger extent than we are in person.
Yeah.
Not to say that's necessarily a bad thing, because if there wasn't for technology, I wouldn't be connected with a lot of the people that I'm able to connect with today.
Hmm.
However, there is something sacred about being like in person, in the flesh, in a sacred space.
Yeah.
And I know we can recreate those spaces virtually. However, yeah, I've noticed there is something special when it's in
Yeah.
person. And you reminded me, we actually met in Circle, didn't we?
We did. Yeah.
Yes.
We did. Yeah.
And I can't remember which circle it was, but you mentioned we were beside each other.
I think it was Tiffany and Chris.
Okay, yes. The Raw
Yeah.
Babe Circle. Okay.
Raw Babe Circle. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Oh
And I
my
probably
gosh.
saw you in other circles before, but I remember that one specifically. You were sitting next to me and you were so sweet. You asked me how I was, you introduced yourself, and stuff. And speaking about the social media piece, when I was going through it with my postpartum, you were such a light on your social media, and I did reach out to you for some help. So yeah, so social media is great and it can connect you with a lot of people, but there is that
Yeah.
magic in connecting in real life
Yeah.
that is
Yeah,
priceless.
there is. And I mean, I'd love to get into how Made of Stars Studios came to be because the name in and of itself, Made of Stars, is just absolute perfection. But how did you actually come to create this and what was the spark or inspiration or driving force behind it?
So you know what? It's so funny because I don't really remember what it was. I think it just popped up to me for me. It was called Je m'adore Girls because I was primarily working with girls at the time, doing self love workshops. It was a little spin on my French Canadian. It meant I love myself.
Mm,
Um, and then over time, when I kind of stepped away from that, it took some time away. I rebranded and I was thinking of names, and Made of Stars Studios came up. Not really sure how and why, but I did really think that like we are all little stars, like we're all made up of our own light. And it's so funny because it has evolved into like I offer astrological things now and moon circles, like you said. So it like all makes sense and it's all under this umbrella. But
oh
yeah.
my goodness. I just love that. And this is the thing, you can't make up how it all unfolds and this higher intelligence that's behind all of this driving it all.
Always,
Yeah.
always. Yeah.
What sparked you to even be interested in creating your own offering? Like, how did this vision come to be? Where did this come from? I know you mentioned that it was your experience of self-discovery. Was there anything specific?
um, it was well in my own personal like journey when I kind of like I guess you would call it a spiritual awakening. I was just I needed something, and I started like going on personal growth journeys, like reading books and learning more. Um, and all these things that I was learning, affirmations, manifestation, like all these incredible things, journaling. Journaling was always something that I used to do as a child as well. Um, but that was always a huge, like still is a huge part of what I do. But all of it, I was growing so much from, even like gratitude practices, just like easy things. And I just thought to myself, this is exactly what I needed. This is what I began sharing with my children because it was making such a profound difference in my life that I wanted to teach kids at a younger age to develop these habits, these tools, to just have them in their toolbox when they were challenged. And obviously, kids are going to go through challenges, they're going to go through things, but as long as they have these tools, they can get through anything. So it was really about introducing kids to things that helped me, and I knew that it would make a huge difference for them. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Beautiful. I mean, for me as a mom who my children go to public school, which I mean, in a perfect world, I would love for them to eventually go to some alternative school, but I feel like with being in the system, it's just that much more important to be mindful of the messages that are coming home and unpacking all of that with them. And so the fact that there is this resource outside of the box for them to go through all the pieces that are not taught in school. You know, like, of course, it is our job as parents to teach our children. We don't necessarily want to be outsourcing all of that to teachers, to, activity practitioners and all of that.
Yeah.
However, like I said, there's often this need for individuation or rebellion that can happen with our children. So the fact that there are these resources where a child can come to receive more of that understanding and those tools. And I know you deal with emotion as well
Hmm.
with children in your workshops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so
How do you
important.
find
Yeah.
that? How do you find that?
It's just about letting them know that emotions are okay.
Hmm.
Like often we're taught like you shouldn't be angry or like just um how do you say like just don't be sad and push your feelings down. I myself have pushed my feelings down. Like that I am still going through things like now that I repressed because I didn't think that I should be expressing emotion because it's just not what girls should do, right? Like
Welcome to the group. Hi. Welcome to the group.
yes.
Yeah.
So so it's really in teaching kids that emotions are meant to be felt. They're little messages. Like
Hmm.
there is no need to suppress them. We want to understand them. We want to understand what it is that's triggering us, something that we don't like, things that we do like, things like they're all just messages, right? So it's really about letting children know that and not feel bad about it in any
Yeah.
kind of way. Yeah.
I love that. And what's coming into my mind right now, when I had asked you how to pronounce your last name, so
Yes.
it's pronounced Bosse,
Bosse, yeah.
and you had a response to that with
Yeah.
the Bosse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you share?
Yeah, my whole childhood, I would cringe every time my name was called. I would wish it wasn't called because they always mispronounced it. They always said bossy. I felt so ashamed because all the kids would, point and laugh. Oh, look at her. She's bossy. But now it turns out it worked because I guess it was kind of like a foreshadowing that I would one day be the boss of my own
Mm.
my own business. But yeah, no, I did not like that at all. It was like attention. It was yeah, it made me feel a type of way. I'm proud of my name now, but
Yeah, I'm curious.
yeah.
So, would you say that, like, as a young girl, you kind of operated and embodied that bossy persona, or do you feel like you veered more on like the nice girl, good girl side of things?
No, I was a good girl, like
Okay.
people pleaser. Yeah, no,
Okay.
I did not embody that. I didn't like the negative attention that it brought. So I just, yeah, I was people pleaser, kind,
Hmm.
the nicest.
Isn't it
Yeah.
interesting with that being your last name, with oftentimes I find that women tend to repress or push that more powerful, assertive. I mean, bossy kind of has a stigma associated with it.
Yeah.
But that energy of like being assertive and like knowing what you want and being able to lead and assert yourself, like I guess that sort of is in and around the realms of bossy. And so many women tend to push that expression of themselves down.
Yeah. It did for me. Did it for you, do you
Oh
think?
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which I love that your last name is Bosse and you work in and around the themes of empowerment with young girls.
Isn't that funny?
I have goosebumps
Yeah.
again because if you think about it, like so many of us, and I mean this is a pattern that I think is really coming up into the awareness of so many to be shifted because it is not serving women. It doesn't serve anyone to repress any aspect of self because of course when
Yeah.
we repress aspects of self into the shadow, we sort of turn that energy in towards ourselves.
Hmm.
We're suppressing aspects of ourself. It can create so many things within our physical bodies, within just internal conflicts with ourselves. But then it can also leak out in these distorted ways because the energy of like that bossy, bosse is essentially just, it's like that no, or it's owning your desire, right? It is owning what it is that you want and kind of what is true for you. And so it's been such a big part of my journey. It's been something I've actually worked at for the past few years is to actually meet that version of myself, that expression within myself, find ways to express and embody that, and actually reintegrating my capacity to actually hold my power,
Yeah,
to hold
I
my
love that.
boundaries, to stand up, to lead, to take action towards the things that I want. Like really, it's our power.
Yeah, totally. No,
What's
that's
been your
beautiful.
experience?
Like being in my power, leadership, authority has been a struggle for me. I'm not even going to lie. This is something
Mhm.
that I still work through. I even offer a workshop on leadership because what I actually found is that we are all leaders. We just lead in different ways. And like, I'm not the person who's going to be like the typical leader, the loud and like, wants to be the center of attention. But it's really about leading in the way that's right for you, but also leading yourself, saying no when you need to say no, like saying yes when you need to say yes, and things like that. But what I found myself, I'm more like a heart emotional leader. I'm more emotionally aware, and other people can like in my workshop we kind of go through the four leadership types that the kids go through. But once they know that they're a leader in their own little way, I think it really helps them really find that leader within them and be able to express it better. It's helped me.
Yeah, and
Helping me.
oh my goodness, I'm like, okay, where do I sign Sienna up? Because what are the four leadership types?
So one of them is the empowered leader. That is like the more fiery leader. That one it motivates everyone. Um, there's the heart based leader, which is like the most emotionally aware leader. The one who's going to make sure that everybody is feeling okay, everybody's good. There is the visionary leader, which is like more of the mental, like they have like big ideas, big visions. They're the communicators. And then we have our grounded leaders, which are like the stabilizers, the grounded people that just ground others and ground themselves. But yeah, they're the people that people come to when they need stability.
I love that. And I love how, I mean, I'm sure there's probably like a primary that each of us operate within, although we
Hmm.
can pull from each of those
Oh yeah.
categories. But to know, I mean, to know for ourselves alone, and then also to extend that knowledge to the children, like the next generation that are coming through, is so powerful to, just that idea of like, okay, I may not be at the top, the boss, the visionary, whatever it is, but I'm leading in this part of
Yeah.
this business or in this way. And the
Yeah.
whole idea of being a self leader is just so powerful.
Hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you.
So, I would love to chat with you about astrology and how that comes into play with your offerings. For myself, I am not huge into astrology, but I do understand like my sun, my moon, my rising. I'm starting to learn more about like my Venus, my Mars, like my Chiron has actually been a big one. I actually refer a lot to the Chiron placement around those that I work with.
Yeah.
And I know for me, it's
Powerful.
provided so much value in
Hmm.
understanding myself and kind of the inner callings that I have. So I would love to know, and for those that are listening that maybe don't know a whole lot about astrology, can you maybe share a little bit about like the key aspects of one's chart and how those may help?
Sure. So what I do, okay, astrology has been so helpful for me in so many ways. It actually really guided me in my business. It's guided me in motherhood. It's really guided me back to myself. But astrology is like layered. So how I see astrology as it is your soul's guide of where you're meant to go, challenges you're meant to work through, and just how you're meant where you're meant to rise. You can find so much within your astrology, and I mean we could be sitting here all day and
Mhm.
talking about it because there's so much layers and so many things to learn about it. But what I do is I introduce my people and my audience to astrology in just the simplest way, which is using their big three, which is their sun, moon, and their rising. Um, so if you don't want to get into all that, like there's a lot in astrology,
There's a
it's
lot.
really
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's a really condensed way of using it to nurture yourself, understand yourself better, and rise into alignment and your purpose.
Okay. And would you mind sharing for someone who may not know, like what the sun sign represents? Because I think a lot of us who may not be into astrology often know at least what our sun, it's like, what's your sign? We often know what our sun sign is, but then there's the moon and the rising or ascendant sign, which that is in the
Sure,
big three. Can you share a little bit about what those
sure.
are?
Yeah. So the way that I use astrology is I begin with everybody does know most of the time what their sun sign is, but I like to start with the moon sign. So your moon sign is which sign the moon was in at the exact moment of your birth. That is going to tell you what you need emotionally, your emotional world, how you, what you need to feel safe, what you need to feel nurtured. It's really, and knowing that is going to tell you what it is that you need to feel safe. The second thing is the sun, and which is what everybody probably knows. That is your essence. That is your gifts. That is who you are. That is the way that you shine. So once you know your moon sign and you are able to give yourself what it is that what your emotional needs are, you are then able to shine the way that you are meant to using your sun sign. And then the rising sign, which you know, if you know your exact time of birth, is what you were meant to rise in, what your soul, who your soul was meant to rise to becoming in this lifetime. So once you are emotionally well, using your moon sign, you are able to shine your essence and shine your gifts with the world using your sun sign. And that will lead you to rise into whatever your rising sign is. So,
I have never had anyone explain it in that such a way that actually makes so much sense in terms of like, because there's light expressions of these energies or signs. Like, for example, Aquarius has like a light or like positive traits associated with that energy, that archetype. And then there's also
mm-hmm.
the shadows aspects, right?
Oh, yeah.
So
Yep.
the fact that you are the way that you're explaining it in terms of like when you are actually meeting your emotional needs and meeting your needs, you're able to actually express more of those light aspects
Yeah.
of your sun, your identity, who it is that you came here to be
Yeah.
on this earth and rise into your potential.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Exactly.
Oh my
Good.
gosh. I love
Good.
that. And you mentioned that you also create these guides for both
Mm-hmm.
moms as well as their children to understand their charts in those very ways in a personalized way for them.
Yes. So I do what I do with my guides, and I can go through your big three if you want in a
Yee.
second.
I would love
But with
to.
my awesome, with my guides, basically I go through like what it means to have like your moon is in Libra. What does that mean? What do you need to feel safe, nurtured, and emotionally well? So I'll just go through a little bit of
Okay.
it.
I'm
You need,
excited.
as a Libra moon, peace is a priority for you. So you need peace in your life, you need peace in your relationships, you need peace in your home. If you are not feeling peace, if you're not feeling balance, you're not going to be okay emotionally. So that is super important for you. You are, you need like beauty as an aesthetic, and it's not a superficial thing. You just need it. It makes you look and look at your home for sure. You need it to feel well. Like it's not superficial. That's just what you need. Um, Relationships are super important for you. So all that one-on-one connections that you make, the very important ones, if they are not peaceful, like I mentioned, relationships you thrive on. So you are not going to be well emotionally. You are very focused on fairness for everyone, being equal. That's very important for you. it may have, and it will have started for you even as a child. Like those things were very important for you. And just having that harmony in your life.
Mm.
So that's your moon.
Well, that lands.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Awesome. Amazing.
I'll reflect
Um,
after you're done the whole thing.
okay, for sure. And then with the sun in Aquarius.
Hmm.
Okay, so as a sun in Aquarius, sorry, I'm gonna pull this up again.
And actually, my birthday is on January 20th, so it falls on the cusp day. So it is Aquarius, like it's the
Okay.
first day of Aquarius, but Capricorn is like the day before. So I don't know if
Oh,
that changes
really?
anything. Yeah.
As long as you're still like in the Aquarius sign, you are Aquarius. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna read a little bit about how you shine and your essence and being an Aquarius. You are innovative, so you are a true visionary. You are going to see things ahead of everyone else. You are very future thinking. You are very like caring about the collective, not just self focused. You really care about the future. You care about the state of the world. That is very important for you, as well as community. Community is very important to you. And I know that
Hmm.
it is so important for you that you build beautiful communities. And I've been so grateful to be a part of your community.
Oh, thank you.
And yeah, so that has been like when I read that, I was like, okay, totally, you're Aquarius sun. You're very much shining like in your light. Liberation, you are freedom is very important for you, and to be yourself. To be yourself is like the most important for you, and you really inspire others by being yourself. So another thing with Aquarius is they're very unique. So they can be different than other people. They are the black sheep. And it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be different in a sense that, like, um, just like, you have different colored hair or whatever, like in that sense. But
Hmm.
you're different in the way that you do things. It could be different from your family, it could be different from your friend group. It's just like you have that unique quality within you. So, yeah,
Mm.
that's just a little bit of it.
Wow. Amazing. Thank you. And then, so the Virgo rising, how does
So,
that
yeah.
piece come in?
So, as a Virgo rising, you are meant to. So, again, you've been following your moon so that you are emotionally grounded, emotionally good, so that you're able to shine your light as an Aquarius and embody all those Aquarius kind of traits so that you can rise into your Virgo rising, which is all about being of service. The
Mm.
healer energy, girl. Like,
Wow.
I was just like, girl,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. And I'm like, you are. So basically, when you're looking at your rising sign, it's who you're meant to rise into. And that could be in your career, like what you do in your business, what you bring into life, or even like how you are with your family, like whatever it is that's your soul, who you're meant to rise to be. So, embodiment is super important for you, which you work within your body, like embodying everything that you learn, and just being in your body. I'm not sure if that was always like an easy thing for you to
No,
do.
no.
Yeah. Especially since your moon and your sun are both air. So you must have been a lot in your head, but the part
Yeah.
of that you were meant to rise into was being grounded and more in your body. And yeah, you embody that healer energy. You are in service. And this is what I know from you through your work. Um, you really need to be like organized. So structures and like having structure in your life, in your home, but even in your business, I know that you offer that within like your containers of healing. And then, yeah, your analytical precision. So your communication is very precise and very, I mean, you can tell on this podcast, like that you're totally just your words melt. So, so yeah,
Wow. Oh my
yeah,
gosh. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I mean, as someone who has been on this journey for several years in sort of discovering myself and becoming more self-aware, the value that something like this can provide us in terms of understanding ourselves and kind of reaffirming the things that we feel called towards
Yeah.
is powerful.
Mhm.
It's huge
Yeah.
because everything that you just said, I mean, the piece around like harmony and peace in my relationships and within myself
Mhm.
has been something that I've found is so influential in my ability to actually drop in and do the work that I want to do. And it's interesting because almost 3 years ago now, I went through a separation from my kid's dad. I had been with him for almost 18 years of my
Oh
life.
wow.
And it was just a situation where I had changed a lot. I had done sort of a 180, gone through a massive spiritual awakening after having a big, big flare and a life threatening situation. Understandably, that's going to change somebody. But yeah, I had gone through a lot of changes and I started doing this self discovery work and started really becoming much more aware and attuned of what was going on within me. And all the pieces within myself that were not at peace within myself, if that makes sense. It's like, yes, being at peace within our external relationships, but I've found that like external relationships are just a mirror and reflection of our relationship with ourself.
Mhm.
And so as I started discovering like all these pieces of myself that were at odds and not at peace, I started to become much more aware of how much my external relationships were not matching and providing that peace or harmony.
Yeah.
And so, as hard as that decision and journey was, being in a position now where I'm in my own space and I've been able to cultivate this sense of peace and stability within myself and balance, I find that I have now been able to drop more into that, creating communities and being of service and kind of that true Aquarian piece, which I had
Yeah.
literally repressed my whole life. Like I
Yeah.
did not identify as an Aquarius because I was so suppressed.
Yeah.
I completely suppressed my individuality and the fact that I was different. And again, that like bosse, the
Yeah.
bossiness of like, I always had an opinion and it was different. And it's only been in the last few years that I've actually started to own it, which I
Yeah.
found has naturally attracted women who are on similar journeys of like self discovery and really starting to discover and express their truth, their voice. So, thank you so much for sharing that because it's
I
so spot on.
I'm so happy that it resonated with you, and it's so funny because I felt the same way. I never identified with my Leo sun. Like I did when I was very,
Wow.
very little, but as I like started like when I hit puberty, 8, 9, um, I shut down. So it's
Mm,
just so funny. And when I started doing this work, and like I started recognizing that. And I'd love to hear from the listeners as well if they felt like they resonated with their sun sign. But very
mm,
much, if we are not emotionally grounded and we don't feel safe, it's being like the embodiment of our sun sign is not going to be easy for us. So, like
mm.
you just shared, um, and that was true for me as well in my journey.
Okay, and that's so powerful. So, my daughter is also a Leo sun.
Yeah. Is she? Yeah.
She is, yeah. And I think she's actually a Pisces moon.
Oh, that is me.
Okay, now I
Yeah.
need to look as we're going through this. So I love the pattern app. Since this is not my gem,
Okay.
I use this app to actually understand to some extent what is going on with my children. And I would love for you to share for the listeners how a parent can go about actually understanding a bit more about their child's chart in order to better understand their child, their needs, and to better parent them and meet those needs as well.
Awesome. So with the like using this guide, this in the same way that we're doing it for ourselves, like finding our purpose, knowing your child's moon sign is going to help you learn what they need to feel safe and nurtured. So you're going to be able to give them what they truly need, right? Emotionally. And sometimes it's hard knowing what your child's moon sign. It's very hard to maybe understand them because it's so different than our own moon sign, right?
Mm,
So like you are a Libra moon, your daughter is a water moon. So she's a lot more emotional perhaps than you maybe.
yeah,
Yeah.
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 And actually, to speak to that last point where you had asked me if being embodied, like in my body, was something that came natural to me,
Yeah.
no, no. And it's, yeah, like the air in me, like I can be very intellectual. I love analyzing and unpacking and understanding everything, like very metaphysical in that regard. I could just float away. But
Yeah.
the actual being in my body and connecting with my emotions has been something that has needed to happen through my healing journey. And
Yeah.
because of trauma, because of medical trauma, medicalization as well will cause someone to become disembodied,
Yeah.
right? Because we can't be in our bodies as easily when we are holding on to unprocessed pain and all of these experiences that actually cause us to fragment off or be out of our bodies. And so that's been a journey for me. And it was actually my daughter and her big emotions. I know we've talked about this before, her very big emotions, which makes so much sense now that we're actually talking about how she's a Pisces moon, that actually triggered me in certain ways to actually go into those deeper aspects of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Because she's going to feel everything, and she's very emotional. She's intuitive. She's very sensitive. So
she
yeah.
is. Oh
I
my
mean, you
goodness.
were called into that through motherhood and through your healing, your
Yeah,
body.
yeah.
So yeah. Yeah.
Those were the
So you're meant to.
initiations. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful.
What a powerful gift for a parent to be able to understand their child in that way, in terms of their inner world. Like when I think of the moon, I have always thought of it as like their inner world, their emotional world, and the fact that you link it to like those emotional needs in order for them to be their best self and really move along in the journey of the like highest expression of their soul is just profound. What a gift for a parent and their child to be able to have that knowledge. Yeah.
Thank you.
And so
Yeah.
you have
No,
these
it's so
guides
beautiful.
available
Um,
for mothers,
yes.
for their children.
Yeah. And then like I do have a bundle where you can learn more about yourself and your child with the both of the guides. But to touch on the sun piece, when you know your child's sun sign, then you know you can understand them and you can encourage them to shine their lights and use their gifts the way that they were meant to. And then when you know they're rising, you encourage them in that direction. So yeah,
Wow.
I think it's just yeah, it's just a good tool to have because we're born with like a blueprint, right? So like
Hmm.
instead of trying to figure it out, use these tools, human design, astrology, things that are available to us to understand your child better, yourself better in the best way.
Yeah. No, it really is kind of that. For me, it's been this permission piece of like, yes, there's been an element of kind of rediscovering these archetypes, these energies, these traits within myself that I may have pushed down, shut down, repressed, due to various reasons, conditioning, what's, more celebrated within our culture, things like that, right?
Yeah.
But it's also been just such a permission piece to actually be me and be who I am.
Yeah.
And I believe the same. We come here with a blueprint, with a plan. We are not just walking around in these bodies with, for no reason, going from A to B, going and having, our pizza and then going to drop our kids off at school and
Yeah.
going to the next thing. When you can actually connect with the higher intelligence that exists around us and within us, and to start to
Hmm.
work with that, using these tools to have a greater understanding of those facets of ourself, it is power. That is
Yeah.
power.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's written in the stars.
It's written in the stars and made of stars. We are
Yeah.
made of stars.
No, yeah. If you can have access to these tools, why not use them?
Yeah.
Just to like help you get into an alignment and empower you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
find too the way that astrology has helped me along my healing journey, because I don't know about you, but what I've found is once I sparked the journey into myself and into like what some may call purification, basically of discovering all the stuff that I was holding and all of these wounds that I didn't even know existed. Did that happen for you, where all of a sudden you became aware of all of these things that you previously weren't aware of?
It's like I was aware.
Okay.
It was just like confirmation. I was like, oh,
Okay.
that's why I struggle here. That yeah, this
I
is
guess
why
I
I
just
can't
blocked
find it.
everything out.
Oh, did
I
you?
blocked it all out. So all of a
Yeah.
sudden it was like wham, and it was there. And so for me, it's been this journey of purification where I've been coming into deeper awareness of parts of myself that I may have repressed, denied, pushed away. And I've found that life brings me all the experiences that I need in order to continue to meet myself on deeper levels.
Yes.
But through that process, when stuff is getting loud and noisy and like stuff's coming up, it can feel like, holy shit, like, is
Yeah.
there, what's going on? Something's wrong here. And I
Yeah.
find that when I actually connect with what is going on astrologically, the bigger transits, the sign that, the moon is moving into, or,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's a full moon or a new moon. I find that it all makes so much more sense around what it is that's coming up for me and for my kids. Like, I notice that my kids have things come up for themselves, or they might have bigger emotions come up around the times of the full moon, the new moon, like bigger transits. Have you found that?
Oh, no, for sure. Yeah, definitely. We're all collectively experiencing like we've all moved through the signs together. So we go through transits together.
Yeah.
And there's like planets that and it's a good thing that you have like the pattern and other apps like that can really help you tune into that. But yeah, some moons, depending on the way they are, like the way your chart is made up, some moons are going to fall on specific parts of your chart, and we all have our own individual charts, but the moon will fall on um, areas of your life that are a little bit more difficult and challenging to move through. So some moons are going to be, some new moons and some full moons especially are going to be more emotional than others, more exhausting than others. You're going to feel them a lot more energetically. And it can be both ways. It can be like more exciting, right? Depending on where the moon falls in your plate or in your chart. But collectively, we're all moving through those. Like
Yeah.
we're all going through the moon. We're all going through these major transit. We're all going through the signs. Like right now, we're in the season of Cancer. The sign of like home, of family, of comfort and safety. So these are themes that may be showing up for you right now. As a collective, we're all experiencing that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's powerful to understand. And I actually just signed up for your new moon circle in July. Me and Sienna will come to the
Yay!
virtual one because we
Yes,
are going to be away. And so I love that there's the in-person option and then there's also the virtual. And I'm so
amazing.
excited, Shannon, to actually expose her to the stuff that she sometimes hears me talk about, but like so that she actually gets to participate and take part as someone who's like receiving it with me, not just like me telling her things. It's
Yeah.
like we get to receive and take part in this together.
Oh.
So I'm very
And I
excited.
have to tell you too that I applaud you for like introducing your kids to like sound bowls, what? And the energy and like the chakra system and everything. My kids, like I've been talking to them about this kind of stuff for like years, much like you. And I'm going to tell you the truth that sometimes they're tired of hearing me speak about it,
Oh
but
yeah.
they're absorbing it, right? And in creating these spaces, like I know that one day that they're going to be using it, right? They're tapped into it. it's just like it's coming from me. It's not cool because I'm their mom. But in my spaces, I kind of create community where it's not only mom. You're like experiencing this with other people and experiencing it with like-minded people and other kids. So it's
Other
just going to be,
kids.
other kids. So it's just going to be, I guess, it's a little bit easier to absorb
Hmm.
when it's not coming from your mom. But
Yeah. Yeah.
but when they get older, they'll be like, they're going to treasure the fact that you allowed these tools for them, right? To comfort them, to
I
bring them
I mean,
peace.
I hope so. I hope so. And that's
They
that's the
will.
goal. And I know this idea of like motherhood, like parenting consciously is something we've talked about in the past. And I know you've mentioned, similar to myself, that it can be a bit of a double-edged sword.
Yes. Yeah.
What's been that experience for you? What have you
Um,
found? The challenge is to be, I mean, there's lots of gifts, of course,
there, yeah,
of it.
yeah,
What has
yeah.
been your experience with some of the gifts and some of the challenges that you've found for yourself?
The gift is allowing emotion, like just allowing them to experience things that maybe I suppressed because it's not like my home made me feel bad about it, but it's just like our environment, like school and stuff like the things that we know now about our emotions and our mental health, they were not talked about. So we just repressed everything, right? Back
Mhm.
in the day. Um, I'm proud that I am able to come from a more conscious place, that I let my kids feel their feelings. And if they're feeling anxious, I can address these things, right? And not just kind of make them suck it up,
Mhm.
right? Um, and just being like more consciously aware of like the way that how I may come across may affect them now and in the future. But then the double edged sword of it is that I'm overthinking. Like, did I do enough? Did I like? And my oldest just moved out last month. She's going to be 23 next week, which is a journey in itself. But I've just like I spent all of June thinking, did I do enough? Like, and just like second guessing everything, even though I was always emotionally there for her, and like I don't know, like it was just like the conscious part of me just wants to make sure that I consciously did enough.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
because we've become more aware of how things have affected us and how, we've had to address some of those things and move through those
yeah,
things. I think that same
yeah,
awareness within ourselves
yeah,
causes us to be acutely aware of how all the things that we do affects them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's just like a going back, like, is this going to affect her? Like, did I cause any trauma? Like you're just like, as a conscious parent, you're conscious of these things,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So,
Which is so funny because I mean, we sign up to have a human experience, right? And so we are human parents. And I think being a mother has brought in so much humility, like this sense of humbleness for me as I've moved through like meeting parts of myself or certain pain or wounding that may have come up through my own childhood, like seeing the humanness in me and how even though I'm doing my best, things happen with my kids
yeah, for sure.
unintentionally, right?
Yeah,
So it's like it helps to kind of instead of pointing the finger or like blaming, it's like seeing the humanness of it all and also the divine intelligence of it all. So, how our earlier experiences shape who we become, and the driving forces behind our decisions. And I know, like, I wouldn't be where I am today or able to understand the things that I can understand if I hadn't had certain experiences, right?
yeah,
I
yeah.
was hearing a psychologist. It might have been a psychiatrist. It was some sort of like accredited mental health professional speak earlier in the week, and she was talking about, I think both the husband and wife were in psychology, and they had children, and their children are now like adult children. And their child was like, I can't relate to anybody because I have no trauma. Just like literally, I feel like you cannot go through the human experience being unscathed or untouched by some form of like adversity, pain, trauma, wounding in one way, shape, or form,
Oh, for sure. It makes
right?
it, they all make us who we are. And it's
Yeah.
true. Like, I think as parents, mothers especially, we want to minimize that trauma and those challenges as much as we can.
Hmm.
And yeah, it's so funny. Actually, I don't know if it was you, but I remember. I don't think it was you, but I remember having a conversation about when I was starting my business, and whoever asked me like, "Why are you starting this business?" And I was just like, "I want to start this like these started these workshops to give kids these tools so they don't have to struggle like I did." And the person was like, "Yeah, but like they're meant to have their own struggles." And I'm like, oh, you know what? It's true. Like, I don't want to stop them from having the struggles, but I kind of reframed that into I want them to have the tools to get through the struggle and feel empowered in that way. So, like,
Oh,
we're all meant to go through the challenges that we go through. They're all meant to grow us.
hmm.
We're meant to grow through them. So, I have to just be at peace with that. And I think as moms, like we have to start being so hard on ourselves because
Mm.
our kids are just growing
Yeah.
and it doesn't come without the growing pains.
And so are we, right?
And
Alongside
so are
them,
we, for sure.
literally
Yep.
reparenting ourselves
Yep.
as we parent them. I know
Yeah.
that's been the case for me, and it's been this nuanced sort of balance between holding, okay, they're their own soul on their own journey with their own challenges that are going to create the circumstances for them to grow into who they want to be and what they want to experience as a soul,
Yeah.
and not using that as an excuse
Yeah.
to not show up in your best and highest capacity. So it's like balancing both aspects of I'm doing my best and showing up in the best possible way for them, giving them the tools, like trying my best to hold space for who they are becoming and
Mm-hmm.
how they feel and what they need, while also knowing that it's not, it's probably not humanly possible to prevent them from experiencing. And really, is that our role to prevent
Yeah.
them from experiencing the challenge? Or, like you said, is it more of that just being the conscious guide, and
God, yeah.
space and providing those tools?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Just
it's
being
interesting.
there for them through it. But yeah, that's really beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and the last piece that I want to talk to you about, so I know you just mentioned like that's part of what sparked you to create what is now Made of Stars Studios. And so it's often this our mess is our message or our karma is our dharma type piece. And here we come into this idea of like this very heart-based offering, right? And I know a lot of the women that I work with or that might be listening, I know for sure some of them are in this space where they are kind of becoming aware of what that call within their heart and then what that vision is.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm curious what your experience has been like stepping into that calling. I saw an email that you sent out. Was it today? I think you'd sent it out earlier today or
Oh, about
yesterday.
how how it hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
curious what your experience has been.
So I started my business back in 2017,
Hmm.
and one of my biggest fears was showing up. Like I feared what people would think of me. I feared like failure. I would feel
Hmm.
like just what other people would say if I failed. Um, it wasn't until and it wasn't until I caught myself telling my kids that they can do whatever that they want to do that I actually realized that I wasn't living that myself. And our children are always like they're listening, but they're really watching.
Hmm.
So how was I really like reflected on how I was going to tell them to go live their dreams and do whatever they want and follow their passions if I wasn't doing that myself. So I became really aware of that, and it became like a non-negotiable for me. So I really had to follow my heart so that my children would follow my example and follow theirs. Um, and even in the work that I do, it's very hard for me to tell kids to follow their hearts when I'm afraid to do it for myself. So yeah, that's been my journey with it. Um, it's not easy when you're putting out something in the world that is so much a part of your heart and soul. Like
It's
it is like
vulnerable.
it's so vulnerable. It is like sharing your baby to the world and asking for um, like seeing. I don't want anybody to think bad of like my offering, right? So it's really vulnerable. It's really sharing a piece of me. Um, but yeah, I've been trusting in the process
Hmm.
and surrendering to it. It has not come with its own challenges. Like whatever I'm going through, I choose to think I don't lose. I either win or I learn. So it's just been a process of like trial and error. And there have been events that haven't, so like I've had to cancel because nobody showed up. And I'm going to tell you, like it broke me. And I did, it broke me, right? But it was so funny is because,
Question.
yes,
What did it break in you?
it's, it's just like my pride.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's just like, I don't know, my heart. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's just like so much a part. Like my business is so much an extension of me that I really like personalize it. Like it's not just my business. It's like you're rejecting me, I
Hmm.
guess, in a way, and it's like really my inner child too, right? Like it touches me on all
Hmm.
parts of me. Um, but yeah, there was this one time where I had a girl story series, which is all about like the girls are writing their own stories. Like it's an empowerment workshop. And I had one girl sign up. And my whole selling point is that this is a community of girls. So I had to make the decision to cancel it. And I felt really bad because the one little girl who had signed up, like, loved, like, she's been there before, like, she was like coming again. And I had to like cancel it, heartbroken because I couldn't provide that community piece. Like, I can't just teach a class like a sisterhood essentially to one little girl. So I actually made a whole new workshop, and it was like I took my failure and I changed it. I flipped the script, and that was basically the next workshop that I had like a one off, and I filled that class. But oh my goodness, what was it called? It was called like the redirection or something like that. So
Mm.
like plot twist. It was called plot twist. So it was like the
Wow.
plot twist in your
Mm.
story. So essentially, I wanted to teach the girls in my workshop that I took what may have been something that a challenge that you may want to give up on and twisted it and just changed it a little bit and made it work out in my favor. So just like teaching kids like these kinds of things and not to like give up. Yeah, I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. And as I'm listening, what I'm hearing in you is you are taking the material that life is giving you as you take steps forward on your journey in offering this very heart-centered vision, offering resource out to the world. And you're taking the material that comes up in that if there is anything that is triggering parts of you, you're actually essentially
Using it.
using it, like making art out of it. And I know that's been something that I've had to develop as a practice too, because same, I've had offerings put out where there was zero signups. I've had various kind of redirections or what you might consider to be failures. I'm using my bunny ears here, failures, because really what I've seen is that there are pivot points. They're pivot
Yeah,
points, they're growing points.
yeah,
And the journey of building the resilience and the strength and the self belief within myself to show up in bigger and bigger and bigger ways, I feel like is the journey of becoming
Yep.
the one within ourselves, but also the version of ourselves that has and can hold that vision,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Like
100%. That's
I
so
want to
beautiful.
share I
Yeah.
want to share the piece about our voices because I know even for me, like what you had just said about this being an extension of you, and it's like you want to protect it, right?
Yeah.
Like I've had to detach my identity and worth from my business and my offerings to a large degree. I think
Yeah.
that's a necessary. It's my heart is still there, but I'm still me, whether or
Yeah.
not this exists, right?
Yeah.
And so I know I've had somebody ask that question to me, like, what broke in me when I launched something that had zero people join? And it was a version like a an attachment, like an egoic attachment to the outcome, or that having anything to do with my inherent worth,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. No, I feel the same. Yeah. And I'm glad that you have gone through that
Yeah,
because
it's a journey.
yeah, it's a journey when you're building something that's so heart centered and like so much a part of you to detach from that is like it's a must. I feel it within myself as well. I'm very attached to like my business being me. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I would love to hear like how you did that.
It's literally in moving through those experiences and then seeing that, like, of course I had my little tantrum, like I had feelings about it, right? I
Yeah,
had big feelings, but it was in seeing it for what it was, going through the reframe of like, this doesn't mean anything about me, like reminding myself, okay, it's a pivot, it's a call to go deeper in another area, because I feel like source, spirit, the universe isn't going to let us go in directions that aren't meant for us, right? So
yeah,
the more we attach to certain things or are operating in certain ways that are not actually working, that door is closed for a reason. It's like leading us somewhere else. So it's in picking myself back up off the floor, feeling my feelings, having my own back, reframing, being in amongst the beautiful community of women that I have who are also in this space, yourself included. Like we have such a beautiful relationship in our voice note relationship over this mutual support, right? And
yeah.
leaning on community and normalizing like the fact that you've experienced this, the fact that I've experienced this. For anyone that is putting themselves out there in a very heart-led way, we can
Community is everything too. Yeah,
community is huge, and also understanding that there are going to be bumps along the road. There's going to be speed bumps. There's going to be doors closed that are redirecting you over here. There's going to be pieces of yourself that are going to be challenged and have to be met with. Like, if there are parts of you that doubt your worth or the value of your voice, they're going to fricking come up in your journey.
oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And that's not
Definitely feel
wrong.
it.
It's coming up
Yeah,
for you, right? It's
yeah,
not wrong. So it's almost like I feel like as I've gone through the process, and maybe I feel like you've seen the same thing. So as I've gone through the process and taken steps along the way, which at this point it's been several years, I've started to see the cycle of, okay, maybe there's a misstep, or maybe there's a bit of a perceived failure or something happening. Again, I was bunny earsing the failure because I also love what you said there about failure. No, what did you say?
I never fail. I either win or I learn.
There you go. So it's
Yeah,
been it's
it's
been
always
winning
that.
or learning.
Yeah,
And through every step, I meet myself in a deeper level, build greater capacity to stand firm in myself and go back out there. And it's like I feel like that's the very essence of what it is that you are teaching in your girl story workshops and in your spaces. And so the fact that you are living this, to me, I
in
have
real time.
goosebumps again, because it's like
Oh,
you are embodied in what it is that you're teaching. You're actually showing up and doing the work, which is really beautiful to witness.
Oh, thank you. Thank you
Hmm.
so much, and you as well.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, I definitely think it's so important to um, reach out to people that are in like heart-centered, conscious business, because a lot of the times we see just highlight reels of
Yeah.
what people are going through, and you see their successes, but we're all learning.
Yeah.
We're all learning. We've all gone through our failures, quote
Learning.
unquote. Yeah,
Yeah.
our learning, yeah, and unlearning, and just like becoming more of who we are and who we're meant to be and what we're meant to be, like meant to do in this lifetime. So, yeah.
What would you share with a woman who may be starting to feel that call in her heart, in her soul, around this vision, or maybe she doesn't even know what it is. Maybe it's just this calling into this direction. And there's like I know there's it's pretty normal to have a calling and also be like, ugh, like face this level of resistance towards it. What would you share with a woman who is in that place based on what you've discovered in your own journey?
Honestly, get curious. Like those little nudges that you are feeling, like those messages that you're receiving in your heart, those are not accidental. Those are not coincidences. Those are really clues about what you're meant to get curious about. And maybe you're not going to have a career in whatever you're curious about, but taking that next step is going to lead you closer to where you're meant to go. So just trusting in taking that step, whatever it may be, like learn the thing, take the
Hmm.
course. If something is inspiring you in any kind of way, just really trust those nudges. I think that's the most important thing. And it's our intuition. It's back to our intuition. We have to learn to trust it.
Hmm.
Like we all know what we're meant to do, or like in some little capacity, it can be like the smallest little step, but really learning to trust that and honoring that by taking that next aligned step, whatever it may be.
How have you managed the resistance that might come up along the way? Meaning the fear, the like, ugh.
My biggest thing, what besides like telling my kids, um, to follow their dreams and not following my own. The other thing was really tapping into me as like looking back on my life. Would I be okay with not doing this? Or would it be something that I would regret if I didn't at least try? And it's if it's on the side of like I'm gonna regret doing this, then I'm definitely gonna try. And I spent years, like I'm gonna say like I just started really pouring my heart and soul visibly. I will say like when I showed up back in 2017, I was pouring like it wasn't the same. Like I wasn't being visible at all. Like I wasn't going live. I wasn't sending emails. I wasn't being vulnerable about my feelings, like, and sharing my story like I do now. And that's been like a learning curve of being like not as vulnerable and
Mhm.
closed off. So I've been working on my heart chakra in that way. Um, but if I'm going to regret not doing something now, I don't want to waste any more years. Like, I don't want to have a life that I look back on with regret,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
you're ready to
I'm ready.
go bigger and be seen.
I'm ready. I'm
Yeah.
ready.
The heart chakra and the throat chakra.
Yes, and throat
Speaking of,
chakra.
yeah,
Speaking
speaking
of,
of, in full transparency, so Shannon and I sat down. Okay, today, first of all, today is 7/7. Today is the 7th of July, which is the seventh month. We
yes.
sat down to record. And by the way, this was not planned. This happened by chance where both of us had space in our schedules, 7 p.m. on 7/7 to actually record this. So this is a powerful day for
Yay.
kind of connecting with your soul's vision. Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is your feel and take on
I'll
today?
say, yeah, it's a powerful portal to just tap into like what it is that you want to manifest and bring to life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and sevens to me are a very spiritual number and involving like your soul and your soul's vision in
Yeah.
that, because the more we can come from a place of our heart and our soul rather than like ego, the deeper that takes us. And we sat down today and we are actually recording this for the second time because
Yay us.
yay us, because first of all, because Shannon is my first guest and this is just human, okay? We're sharing this to normalize because this is just human. First guest, having some technical difficulties with the microphone, with video and stuff like that. We also noticed that here we are flowing in conversation so easily, right? When you first were here, it was like flowing in conversation, and I was like, just hit record because it's like there's so much gold coming through.
Yeah.
And then what happens when we hit record?
Reservation. Like, oh no, what are people gonna think? And just like kind of like, yeah, silence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, it's wild because the imprints within our DNA, within our bodies, within our nervous system, which yes, can be imprints that we received in this lifetime.
Yeah.
A lot of it is collective. A lot of it is collective, generational, ancestral imprints around the danger of actually being seen or sharing our voice, particularly for women.
Mm-hmm.
These
Yep.
old imprints of rejection, fear of criticism, fear of shame, fear of even persecution comes up.
Persecution. I was gonna say dying out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
interesting because as we take steps to meet that new edge, to put ourselves out there, it's not comfortable.
No.
It's
No.
not comfortable. But I feel like that's what, when you are in this space of like heart-led, soul-led offering, service,
Mm-hmm.
business, it has to be something that you are so committed to and feel so passionate about that you are willing to meet that discomfort, to meet that edge, to actually
Yeah.
come face to face with that very fear and
Yeah.
imprint within you,
Yeah.
that once you do so, it actually sets you free of
It
it.
does. Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't mean the fear goes away
No, not
altogether.
at all. No. And it comes back too. Like I will speak freely some days, and then like we did on our last call, like
Mm,
I don't know, it was just like blocked. My voice, right? I
yeah,
don't know. It's just like it's a relearn, like where it's a relearning, definitely. Like
yeah,
you don't just, I feel like once you kind of activate your throat chakra, like it doesn't just stay, or like our voices. I feel like we're always tested time and time again.
yeah. It's a
Yeah.
practice, like
Yeah.
anything, right? Like
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to build up these amazing glutes
Yeah.
and they're just built. No,
Yeah.
it's like
And then
you
I'll
need,
stop.
yeah, you need to keep flexing those muscles and
Yeah.
keep up with the practice to maintain the strength and capacity that you've just built, right? And so I feel like same goes when it comes to opening our hearts. The same goes when it comes to using our voices, when it comes to like connecting with our worth. And it may get easier because you have flexed that muscle
Yeah.
if you continue to do so. But
But the more that you're doing it, the more that you're building that strength and resilience for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've found that though. I've found that even in this journey of creating this podcast, I've had to become very intimate with the part of me that is frozen, like the part of my voice that is frozen, that just wants to freeze
Yeah.
to protect myself in order so that whatever it is that I like to preserve and protect, like you said. So it's your baby. It's like
Yeah.
an extension of me. But again, it's the allowing, the detaching.
Yeah.
And I think there's a book called Big Magic. I don't know if you've read it. Have
I
you?
literally, that had like the biggest, okay, yeah. That book was so good. Read it to anybody who's like has something on their hearts for sure.
Do you remember what she says about releasing your art to the world?
No. I don't know.
Unless I'm confusing two books.
I don't remember everything because it's
Okay.
mom brain, but like there was this one specific thing in that book, and there's a few, but anyways, yeah, you share your part.
If I'm recalling correctly, she's talking about like because that whole book is about like opening yourself up to inspiration, right? And then
Hmm.
actually taking action steps on that inspiration and releasing your offering out, your art, whatever it is, out to the world. And she basically like Picasso, the painting, like
Hmm.
anyone can look at that painting and have a totally different reaction to it. Someone might love it, someone might hate it, someone might see some shape in it, another person might be moved in like so deeply. And it's not your business as the artist, as the offerer to control how anyone else is going to respond to your art. Because what if someone being triggered by something is the best possible medicine for them in that moment?
I love that. I have to reread this book. It had so much gold in there. Yeah.
It really does. And I hope that I'm taking this from that book because if you read it and that part's not in there, I apologize. But I believe it was that book. So yeah,
Yes.
it's
No, it
powerful.
sounds like it.
Yeah.
It sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the journey, like for me, illness, self initiation, motherhood for both of us, initiation journey, business, initiation journey. So we've got this trifecta, relationships often,
Relationships. Yeah.
initiation. So we've got this trifecta going on. So we are clearly, we signed up for it. So
Yep. We
yeah.
sure did.
What is an offering that you're most passionate about right now, and how can the listeners reach you? It'll all be linked in the show notes, but how can they reach you if they are interested in these offerings?
Oh my goodness. I'm so passionate about so much of things that are going on. But you can follow me at Made of Stars, madeofstars.ca on Instagram. That's mostly where I am. On my website. But right now, during the summer, I'm passionate about the cosmic compass. I think that every mom needs this to understand their littles better and then to understand themselves better, even just working with their big three, like we mentioned before. And then I'm offering our Mom and Me New Moon Circles, which is really a time to connect, a time to set intentions together during the new moon. Yeah, that's what I'm offering. And then later on in the fall, I'll be doing my empowerment classes for GirlStory, and for teens to my future self, which is all about self discovery and sisterhood again.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. And if you're listening and this has sparked something in you and you're curious to learn more about what your chart has to offer in terms of deeper levels of awareness within yourself or confirming certain pulls you might have in certain directions, definitely reach out to Shannon. She is such a beautiful light and just a powerful soul, human. I am grateful to know you and have you in my life.
So
And
grateful for you too. Thank you so much for having me.
thank you for being here. And thank you all for listening. We will see you next time.
Bye bye.
Bye.